Reaching the age of 60 is a profound milestone, a turning point that invites reflection and clarity. It's a time to look back on the paths traveled, celebrate the lessons learned, and embrace the wisdom gained. For many, this stage of life provides a unique opportunity to reassess priorities and intentionally shift focus toward what truly matters. It's not just about aging, it's about evolving. Turning 60 offers the chance to identify habits that no longer serve us and let go of them, to make room for what brings genuine happiness, health, and fulfillment. These unproductive habits may have been helpful or necessary at earlier stages, but with the clarity of time and experience, they become burdensome. By releasing them, we create space to live more intentionally, align our lives with personal values, and prioritize peace of mind. Letting go isn't about loss, it's about liberation. It's about gaining clarity, finding balance, and living with a renewed sense of purpose. These changes allow us to focus on the joys of the present, strengthen meaningful relationships, and nurture our physical and emotional well-being. In this journey, we'll discuss 11 transformative habits that I left behind after turning 60. Each of these shifts has contributed to a healthier, happier, and more fulfilling life. From prioritizing self-care to embracing change, these steps are not just about quitting old habits. They are about beginning a new chapter, one filled with intention, gratitude, and lasting contentment. 1. Quitting work for the sake of working. In earlier decades, overworking often felt like the ultimate badge of honor. It was tied to success, stability, and the desire to climb the career ladder. Long hours and relentless schedules became the norm, leaving little room for anything outside of professional achievements. While the effort may have brought financial rewards, the constant grind took a significant toll on physical health, mental well-being, and personal relationships. Turning 60 brought a profound realization: work without purpose doesn't equate to a fulfilling life. The endless pursuit of productivity no longer seemed appealing. Instead, I began to evaluate the reasons behind my work. Was it aligned with my passions? Did it bring joy, or merely fill time? By shifting focus to work that felt meaningful, I found a healthier balance between professional pursuits and personal fulfillment. This change also involved making space for other aspects of life that had been overlooked, such as spending quality time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply enjoying moments of relaxation. Work became less about ticking off tasks and more about contributing to something that aligned with my values. Letting go of the need to constantly work has reduced stress and improved overall well-being. It's allowed me to rediscover life's true riches: relationships, meaningful experiences, and inner peace. The pressure to always achieve gave way to a deeper appreciation for the present moment, making life richer and more fulfilling in ways that money and accolades never could. Quitting work for the sake of working wasn't about giving up. It was about stepping into a life of intentionality and balance, where work complements life instead of overshadowing it. 2. Quitting mindless spending. For years, spending money felt second nature, whether it was buying the latest gadget, a new outfit, or unnecessary trinkets. These purchases were often driven by habit, emotional voids, or the pressure to keep up with societal expectations. While these items provided a brief sense of satisfaction, the joy quickly faded, leaving little more than clutter and financial strain. Reaching 60 brought a shift in perspective. I realized that material possessions rarely bring lasting happiness. Instead, I began to evaluate each purchase with intention, asking, does this truly add value or joy to my life? This simple question reshaped my relationship with money and consumerism. Mindless spending was replaced with mindful choices, where each purchase served a clear purpose. Rather than buying things to fill emotional gaps or meet societal norms, I redirected resources toward meaningful experiences, such as traveling, learning new skills, or supporting loved ones. These investments brought fulfillment far beyond what any material item could offer. The transition to mindful spending has brought financial savings and a sense of clarity. A simpler lifestyle emerged, free from unnecessary possessions and the stress they bring. Beyond the financial benefits, this change has cultivated a deeper appreciation for what I already have: relationships, health, and moments of joy. Quitting mindless spending wasn't just about saving money. It was about realigning priorities and finding contentment in life's true treasures. 3. Quitting stressing over the small stuff. In younger years, I often found myself consumed by trivial frustrations, traffic jams, misplaced items, minor disagreements, or other everyday inconveniences. These small stresses would compound, draining my energy and overshadowing moments of joy. It wasn't until I reflected later in life that I realized how insignificant most of these worries were in the grand scheme of things. After turning 60, I adopted a more intentional approach to stress. Whenever faced with a challenge, I began to ask myself, will this matter a year from now? More often than not, the answer was no. This simple question helped me let go of unnecessary worries and focus on what truly mattered. Additionally, I learned to distinguish between what I could control and what I could not. Instead of expending energy on uncontrollable situations, I directed my attention toward areas where I could make a meaningful difference. Acceptance became a cornerstone of my mindset, allowing me to approach life with greater calm and perspective. This shift has brought immense emotional balance and peace of mind. Letting go of minor worries has created space for more meaningful experiences, allowing me to enjoy the present moment without the weight of unnecessary stress. By releasing the need to control every small detail, I've cultivated a life that feels lighter, freer, and more aligned with the things that truly bring happiness. 4. Quitting neglecting self-care. For much of my life, self-care was an afterthought, something I considered indulgent or secondary to my responsibilities. Work deadlines, family obligations, occasion, and social commitments always seemed to take precedence. I believed that constantly giving to others was the right thing to do, even if it left me feeling depleted. Over time, I began to notice the toll this neglect was taking on my physical and emotional well-being. Turning 60 was a wake-up call. I realized that self-care isn't indulgent, it's essential. It's the foundation for living a healthier, more balanced life and showing up fully for the people and things that matter. I started by establishing a few key routines. Sleep. Prioritizing rest by creating a calming bedtime routine that promotes quality sleep. Nutrition. Paying attention to what I eat, focusing on nourishing foods that fuel my body and mind. Exercise. Incorporating regular movement, like daily walks or yoga, to maintain physical vitality. Mindfulness. Practicing meditation and journaling to reduce stress and foster mental clarity. I also learned to set boundaries, saying no to commitments that drained me and reserving my time and energy for activities that truly mattered. These changes have been transformative. By taking care of myself, I've gained renewed energy and emotional resilience. I feel healthier, more focused, and better equipped to support my loved ones without feeling overwhelmed. Self-care has taught me the importance of balance and sustainability in all areas of life. It's not about being selfish, it's about honoring my own well-being so I can live fully and authentically. 5. Quitting overcommitting to others. For much of my life, I found it difficult to say no. Whether it was invitations to events, favors for friends, or taking on extra responsibilities at work, I often said yes out of a fear of disappointing others or appearing unhelpful. While my intentions were good, this habit left me stretched thin, exhausted, and unable to focus on my own needs. After turning 60, I realized the importance of setting boundaries. I began to understand that saying no isn't selfish. It's a form of self-preservation. By being more intentional about where I direct my energy, I could prioritize commitments that genuinely matter to me. Learning to say no was empowering. It gave me the freedom to evaluate each request and ask myself, does this align with my values? Will it bring me joy or fulfillment? If the answer was no, I declined with kindness and clarity, without guilt. This shift allowed me to reclaim my time and energy. I now have more opportunities to relax, reflect, and nurture the relationships that truly matter. I feel more balanced, with time to engage in activities that bring me joy, like hobbies, meaningful conversations, and quality time with loved ones. By quitting the habit of overcommitting, I've learned that it's not about doing more. It's about doing what's meaningful. This change has brought a sense of balance and peace that I deeply cherish. 6. Quitting unhealthy relationships. For years, I held on to relationships that no longer brought me joy or peace. Whether it was a manipulative friend, a distant family member, or a colleague who only brought negativity, I stayed connected out of habit, guilt, or obligation. Over time, these relationships became emotionally draining and caused unnecessary stress, often leaving me feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from my own needs. After turning 60, I realized that maintaining toxic relationships was like carrying unnecessary baggage. It weighed me down and held me back from living a lighter, more fulfilling life. I made the conscious choice to release relationships that weren't nurturing or uplifting, not out of resentment, but out of self-respect. This process wasn't easy. It required setting clear boundaries and sometimes having difficult conversations. However, I approached it with grace, ensuring that my decision was rooted in prioritizing emotional well-being rather than conflict or bitterness. At the same time, I focused on strengthening bonds with people who bring love, respect, and mutual care into my life. By letting go of toxic connections, I created space for relationships that truly matter. The energy I once spent on unfulfilling interactions is now directed toward meaningful connections that enrich my life. This shift has brought emotional freedom, peace of mind, and a sense of authenticity to my relationships. Today, my life feels lighter, more joyful, and more genuine. I am surrounded by people who uplift me, and I cherish the deeper, more fulfilling bonds I've cultivated. Letting go of unhealthy relationships has been one of the most liberating and rewarding changes I've made. 7. Quitting neglecting physical and mental health. For much of my life, work, family, and other obligations took precedence over my health. I often told myself there would be time later to focus on well-being, but later always seemed to slip further away. Turning 60 was a wake-up call. I realized that neglecting my health was not only limiting my ability to enjoy life, but also putting the joys I worked so hard to achieve at risk. Good health, both physical and mental, is the foundation of a fulfilling life. Without it, even life's simplest pleasures, like a walk in nature or time with loved ones, can feel out of reach. I decided to make health a non-negotiable priority. I began incorporating daily habits that supported both physical and mental well-being. Morning walks became a ritual, allowing me to stay active while connecting with nature. I adopted a balanced diet, focusing on nourishing foods that fueled my body rather than draining it. Mindfulness practices like meditation and gratitude journaling became essential tools to manage stress and stay present. These moments of reflection helped me appreciate life's beauty and build emotional resilience. Most importantly, I learned to set boundaries. By saying no to commitments that overwhelmed me, I created space to rest, recharge, and focus on self-care. This shift transformed my life. I gained renewed vitality, improved focus, and a greater sense of peace. I no longer feel weighed down by neglect, but instead, I have the energy to fully engage with life's opportunities. Caring for my health has been one of the most empowering changes I've made. It's a daily reminder that investing in myself allows me to better support the people and activities I love. 8. Quitting procrastination on personal goals. For years, I postponed dreams and personal projects, believing there would always be time later. Whether it was learning a new skill, traveling to a place I'd always wanted to see, or completing a long-forgotten passion project, I kept pushing these aspirations to the future. But turning 60 made me realize that time is finite, and waiting for the perfect moment could mean waiting forever. The habit of procrastination often stems from fear. Fear of failure, fear of imperfection, or simply the uncertainty of starting. However, the longer we delay, the more distant and unattainable our goals feel, leaving us with a lingering sense of regret. After 60, I embraced the idea that the best time to start is now. Instead of waiting for ideal conditions, I began setting small, actionable goals to move closer to the life I envisioned. Whether it was taking a single step toward a larger dream or dedicating just a few minutes a day to something meaningful, each action reignited my passion and sense of purpose. I also let go of the pressure to be perfect. Progress, no matter how small, became my focus. And this mindset freed me to take bold steps toward my aspirations. This shift brought a renewed enthusiasm for life. Completing long-deferred projects and pursuing new goals gave me a profound sense of accomplishment. Living with greater intention has filled my days with joy and purpose. proving that it's never too late to pursue the dreams that matter most. 9. Quitting the fear of change. For much of my life, I avoided change, clinging to the comfort of the familiar. Whether it was routines, relationships, or even habits that no longer served me, stepping into the unknown felt daunting. Fear of failure, discomfort, or the uncertainty of outcomes often kept me tethered to the status quo, even when it hindered my growth and happiness. After turning 60, I began to see change differently, not as something to resist, but as an opportunity for growth and renewal. I realized that every transition, no matter how challenging, carries the potential to enrich our lives in unexpected ways. Adopting a mindset of curiosity allowed me to approach change with openness rather than fear. Instead of asking, "What could go wrong?" I started asking, "What new experiences and possibilities might this bring?" This shift in perspective turned change from a source of anxiety into an adventure, an invitation to evolve, adapt, and discover. Embracing change has brought a renewed sense of excitement and vitality to my life. By letting go of fear, I've gained greater resilience and flexibility, allowing me to navigate life's twists and turns with confidence. This openness has led to personal growth, new opportunities, and a deeper appreciation for life's unpredictability. Change, I've learned, isn't something to fear. It's a gateway to living more fully and authentically. 10. Quitting irregular sleep patterns. For much of my life, sleep often took a backseat to work deadlines, social events, or late-night entertainment. I thought sacrificing rest was the cost of productivity or enjoyment. Over time, I realized how this neglect drained my energy, impacted my mood, and hindered my overall well-being. After turning 60, I made a conscious decision to prioritize sleep as a cornerstone of my self-care routine. I established a consistent sleep schedule, going to bed and waking up at the same times each day. To create a calming environment, I began avoiding screens and caffeine before bed, and I incorporated relaxation techniques like deep breathing or reading to unwind. I now view rest as an essential investment in my health, recognizing that quality sleep supports everything from physical vitality to mental clarity. Instead of seeing sleep as time wasted, I now understand it as time well spent, rejuvenating my body and mind for the day ahead. This shift has transformed my life. With better sleep, I wake up feeling refreshed and energized. My mood has improved, and I find it easier to focus and tackle daily tasks. Prioritizing rest has also enhanced my physical health, strengthening my immune system and increasing my resilience to stress. Making sleep a non-negotiable has provided a strong foundation for both my physical and emotional well-being, allowing me to approach each day with clarity and balance. 11. Quitting. Comparing myself to others. In my younger years, I often found myself caught in the trap of comparison, measuring my success, appearance, or lifestyle against those around me. This habit created feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt, as I constantly sought validation through the achievements and approval of others. After turning 60, I realized that comparison is the thief of joy. Everyone's journey is unique, and no two paths are the same. I shifted my focus inward, appreciating my own milestones, struggles, and accomplishments. Letting go of the need for external validation has allowed me to embrace my authentic self and find value in my personal growth. This perspective shift has helped me see my life as a tapestry woven with experiences that are uniquely mine. I stopped looking outward for confirmation of my worth and started celebrating the richness of my own journey. By quitting the habit of comparison, I've gained inner peace and confidence. Instead of feeling inadequate, I now feel empowered to live authentically, free from the pressure of measuring up to someone else's standards. This newfound clarity has allowed me to appreciate the beauty of my life and the wisdom I've gained along the way. Letting go of comparison has been transformative, opening the door to self-acceptance and a more fulfilling, intentional way of living. Conclusion. Life after 60 is a journey of liberation, a chance to let go of habits that no longer serve us, and embrace a life rooted in peace, joy, and authenticity. By releasing these 11 habits, we create the space to focus on what truly matters, nurturing a life that is richer, simpler, and more intentional. This stage of life offers a profound opportunity to prioritize health, happiness, and meaningful connections. Letting go of old burdens isn't about losing, it's about gaining the freedom to live with purpose. Embracing change allows us to grow, adapt, and savor the beauty of each moment, unencumbered by unnecessary stress or expectations. Take a moment to reflect on your own habits and consider what might be holding you back. Are there commitments, comparisons, or routines that no longer align with your values? By consciously choosing to let go of these, you can open the door to a more fulfilling and balanced life. Let this be a time to live with gratitude for the lessons of the past, the opportunities of the present, and the promise of the future. Life beyond 60 is a chapter to celebrate. It's a time to focus on health, relationships, and personal growth, appreciating the richness of life in all its simplicity. Embrace this stage with purpose, joy, and a renewed sense of self. After all, the greatest gift we can give ourselves is the freedom to live authentically and fully.